This is not something that normally happens here.
A man is in the hospital this morning after being shot multiple times at Sky Zone in Timonium. What we know so far about the incident and the shooter. Young people leading police on a high-speed chase in East Baltimore. Why they won't be charged for their crime.
And our temperatures not too bad this morning, but we're heating up this afternoon. We're going to break down that forecast for you.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Starting off with a live look over Towson. It's a nice, sunny, warm start to the morning. Thank you so much for being here on this Sunday, August 13th. I'm Shannon Lilly. We want to get straight to a check on your forecast with meteorologist Justin Chambers. So definitely feeling a little muggy when I stepped out, but it is August, so I guess to be expected,
Absolutely, right? Shannon. Yeah, good morning. And the good news is today we're actually going to see a little less humidity as we head toward the afternoon, but our temperatures are going to be climbing. So a really pretty shot here out over the Inner Harbor on your Sunday if you're up early with us and we're checking things out, seeing what those temperatures are doing. Already in the low to mid 70s for Cockeysville and Owings Mills over to Woodlawn. We're at 76 in Brooklyn Park, mid 70s in Baltimore City, 78 actually in Dundalk this hour. So if you do want to get a morning run in, maybe before church or brunch, we're going to see those mid to upper 70s over the next couple of hours on your jogging cast. And we're going to top out in the mid 90s today under mostly sunny skies. Those temperatures well above average for this time of year. Back with your full forecast. What we're going to talk about is the potential for some strong storms coming in tomorrow night. More on that in just a little bit.
Because what it has done is taken the process of holding juveniles accountable away from prosecutors.
Those protections have given way to a protection of some people who have committed very heinous crimes, which, yes, that does hamper what we are doing now.
It's becoming more and more difficult to hold juveniles accountable.
Basically, a lot of things that unfortunately young people find themselves getting involved in, police can no longer take action.
Baltimore residents expressed juvenile crime as a safety concern during last week's public comment sessions with the mayor and acting BPD Commissioner Richard Worley. Those concerns highlighted by the continued investigation into the Brooklyn Day mass shooting, in which 15 juveniles were among the 30 victims. And many people at that block party that night were under 18. Well, City State's Attorney Ivan Bates says the Child Interrogation Act is hampering the investigation. The law states that children can't be questioned by law enforcement without speaking to an attorney first. While advocates argue it's a necessary safeguard for young people, Bates says police's hands are tied.
But this is what I don't get. Even if the parent says, yes, we can talk to their son or daughter, a lawyer, and here lately it's the public defender. The public defender is saying you can't talk to my client. Of course, you know, they're not saying that we can talk to anyone.
They're jealously defending their client.
They're shutting it down. Matter of fact, I received an email from the public defender in Baltimore City, Ms. Capizello, reminding me what the law was. That's almost waving it in my face. Hey, you can't do this. So that's the mentality that they've now given to the public defenders in that office here in Baltimore City.
Well, on WBAL radio, Mayor Brandon Scott admitted that it's difficult to investigate the shooting when so many of the people who were at the scene can't be questioned by police. He says there needs to be balance between young people's rights and accountability. A week later, the Harford County Sheriff's Office still searching for a suspect in the murder of Rachel Morin. What you can do to help in this case.
Our temperatures are starting off, well, mild this morning for your Sunday. Mid to upper 70s up and down the Chesapeake, some 60s in western Maryland. We'll talk about how much we heat up today and the potential for strong storms tomorrow. It's all coming up on Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
Continuing coverage and happening next Saturday, Rachel Morin's family will be hosting a remembrance walk to walk her last steps before her death. The 37-year-old went missing at the Mon Pa walking trail in Bel Air 1 week ago. The family says they're hoping to create a trail of flowers and light, so they're asking people to bring flowers and battery-operated candles to lay on either side of the trail. This begins at 11 a.m. near the Williams entrance. The Harford County Sheriff's Office is still searching for a killer. Officials are now calling on the public for information about who killed her. It comes as we learn police may have identified a group of witnesses, thus intensifying the investigation. Maryland State Police and FBI agents also are being brought on to analyze evidence.
I think they're working it as expeditiously as they can. There's a lot to pull together. In the field, we always say don't rush to judgment, no matter how much publicity you're getting, because then you may get the arrest, but you may lose the case.
Meanwhile, Rachel's family enlisting nationally renowned criminal defense attorney Joseph Murtha to represent them as they ask for privacy during this difficult time. The Harford County Sheriff's Office wants tips from anyone who was at or around the Mon Pa Trail at the time Morin went missing. You can call 1-888-540-8477 or email rmtips@harfordsheriff.org. Multiple wildfires continue to rage in Hawaii. What officials are estimating the cost to rebuild will be as authorities reveal why warning sirens were not activated.
It doesn't make sense. It seems like you're hiding something.
Emails reveal the state superintendent has a hidden email address. Fox 45 News Project Baltimore presses for answers on why he's using two different work accounts. It's 7:13. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. This morning, a former state employee comes forward asking, what is the Maryland Department of Education hiding? This after FOX45 obtained documents from the state that are heavily redacted. As Project Baltimore's Chris Pabst explains, some of those documents have now been unredacted, which is revealing a hidden email address used by the state superintendent.
He's using it for nothing good.
This person is a former high-level employee at the Maryland State Department of Education. Fearing retaliation, we agreed to conceal their identity.
It doesn't make sense. It seems like you're hiding something.
This whistleblower, who worked under State Superintendent Mohammed Chaudhry, is reacting to something we just told them about their former boss. They didn't know. As an MSDE employee, were you made aware that the superintendent had this second email?
No.
Project Baltimore first reported on this email thread last week. We received it through a public records request. The subject line reads, Project Baltimore request. All the emails in this thread were sent on March 3rd in response to an email we sent MSDE concerning our investigation that found 23 city schools where 0 students tested in 2022 scored proficient in math. When we first received this thread, the final email was fully redacted, including the superintendent's email, which isn't redacted elsewhere in the thread. But we believe the public has a right to know what its government is doing to educate children, especially at Maryland's lowest performing schools. So we replied to MSDE asking for the specific state law that allows for these redactions. A few days later, the state responded by unredacting parts of this email. And what we can see now is raising a lot of questions. On the state's website, this is the state superintendent's only visible email address, mohammed.chaudhry@maryland.gov. But this is not the address the state superintendent used to send this email. Once the state removed the redactions, we can see he sent it from mohammed.chaudhry725@maryland.gov. But that's not all we can see. The state also removed the redactions for 3 of the 4 recipients of this email. These 3 people work for MSDE. But what about this person? Why is this email still redacted? Why is the state superintendent using a secondary email address to send messages to people that the public can't see? And most importantly, why was all of this redacted in the first place?
I believe they don't want you or the public to know that Mr. Chaudhry has a different email address that he could be conducting official MSDE business through. It doesn't look good. It makes it look bad.
The state told FOX45 in a series of statements the superintendent's secondary email address at first was inadvertently redacted, but he used it as a means of organization because his primary email address receives a myriad of messages from stakeholders every day. As far as the body of the email being blacked out, the state is still citing what's called the deliberative process privilege, which means if the superintendent is discussing strategy with fellow employees, that can be redacted. But that exemption may not apply depending on who the 4th recipient is. In this statement, MSDE said the 4th recipient is legal counsel and therefore is subject to redaction. But attorney Scott Martyr says that's not true.
There's nothing in Maryland law, including in the Public Information Act, that allows them to do that.
So you think MSDE is just wrong?
I think they're wrong. I think they're violating Maryland law by not giving you all of the names of the recipients.
Superintendent Chaudhry's contract expires next year. The State Board of Education has not yet offered him a new contract, even though Chaudhry has said he wants to stay.
It's really important to get this right for the families and the children of Maryland.
The next board meeting is August 22nd. And this whistleblower is asking the board to not vote on Chaudhry's future until the public, taxpayers, parents, and students have answers.
I do not believe that this is the person that should be leading our state into the future.
I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
Chris, thank you. Well, the redacted emails from MSDE are only part of Project Baltimore's investigation into the Maryland State Department of Education. Earlier this week, we told you about 98 text messages sent or received by the state superintendent that were deleted, which could be a violation of state law. Bringing up another major question: who, if anyone, will look into all of this? That part of Project Baltimore's investigation in the coming days. All right, it's 7:21 now, and time to get a check on the forecast with meteorologist Justin Chambers. Another nice day for the weekend, Justin.
I mean, it's summertime here, Shannon. We had a pretty nice day yesterday. Some of those clouds started brewing later into the afternoon and didn't really see much in the way of actual precipitation, but we definitely had that humidity that was out there, and it's still kind of warm and muggy right now. Today, we're actually going to be hotter with our temperatures, but our dew point temperatures will come down a little bit, which means we're going to be a bit drier. We'll talk about that in a moment. This is our downtown Baltimore camera looking out over a very beautiful inner harbor this morning. Ahoy, boaters and watermen. Northwest wind about 5 to 10 knots today. Great day to be on the water. Look at that temp, though. By noon, we're already going to be at 90 degrees and into the mid-90s in that 3 and 4 o'clock hour. Low tide at 12:45. High tide back in at 5:28 at Fort McHenry this afternoon. Now, here's what I was talking about, the dew point trend. They are going to stay in the 60s, but then we'll start to climb on Monday and Tuesday. That's when we'll have even more humidity that will be in place. So it's going to feel like the upper 90s today, even though we have less humidity. I mean, we're trying to just kind of paint a picture of being okay out there, or a little bit better maybe than yesterday. But on your Crabcast, that's Carlos the Crab. He's back with us this morning. And yeah, we've got a 4 out of 5 today. So overall, not a bad afternoon. We are tracking some storms that are going to be impacting you, especially tomorrow night. We'll talk about that in a second. So if you do want to jump in the pool today, lower 80s by 10 a.m., mid 90s in that 2 and 3 o'clock hour. Notice that UV index, the very high category. So it won't take more than just about 10 or 15 minutes for you to get the burn on. Have to get that sunblock if you're going to be outside doing anything today. Check these numbers, low to mid 90s for Westminster and Cockeysville over to Bel Air, 95 in Baltimore City, 92 in Annapolis, 88 in Chestertown. If you are heading down the ocean today, great day at the beach, 87, but our temps will come down tomorrow. And notice Monday and Tuesday, those showers and storms that are going to be impacting folks there on the coast. Just 41 days until the first day of fall, so it's less than 6 weeks away right now, and we still have plenty of summer. Don't you worry. You can see those above average temperatures. This is for the next 6 to 10 days, and we got a pretty good chance that those temperatures are going to stay above average. All right, let's show you this real quick. Our future scan, a cold front's going to come through, so that's some of the drier air that works in this afternoon. Doesn't do much to our temperatures. Tomorrow we'll get some more cloud cover in the morning, a couple of scattered showers through the afternoon, and then watch what happens. This is tomorrow night right there. You can see about 10, 11 o'clock. That's when we have that potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Could see some heavy rain at times, as well as some damaging wind gusts. So we're going to keep our eye on that. May need a weather alert day for Monday. So we'll keep our eyes on that for you as well and keep tracking it. So 95 today, upper 80s tomorrow, right about 90 on Tuesday. Then we're actually drier into the middle of next week and less of a chance of storms. Shannon?
All right, Justin, thank you. We're continuing to follow the devastation in Hawaii. After the break, the search and rescue efforts that are happening as of this morning. A shooting happening at a popular gathering spot for children in Timonium. Still ahead, how county leaders are reacting. It's 7:24. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all We are continuing to follow the devastation in Hawaii as workers in Maui search through piles of rubble and ash for people still missing after wildfires ravaged the island. As of this morning, at least 93 people are confirmed dead. That number is expected to rise as rescue efforts continue. The fire is now the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than 100 years, according to the National Fire Protection Association. Meanwhile, Hawaii's Attorney General has announced plans to review the state's disaster policies as well as the response to the fire. This after emergency service officials revealed that the warning sirens on the island were not activated.
Unfortunately, we know, especially these days, the alerts come on our cell phones, but we also know that there was no cell phone coverage in the area. So any alerts that would have gone through that system were not received. We clearly did not plan for redundancies to keep people safe in this situation. It's not like hurricane force winds are unknown to Hawaii, or dry brush or red flag conditions. We saw this before in Lane. We did not learn our lesson from Lane.
Wow. Officials estimate that it will take years to rebuild what's been lost in these fires. According to FEMA, rebuilding parts of the island will cost billions of dollars. They put the estimated rebuilding cost at $5.52 billion. That makes it one of the costliest natural disasters in Hawaii's history. FEMA says the blaze has consumed more than 2,000 acres and damaged over 2,700 buildings. More than 2,200 of those suffered severe damage or were completely destroyed, and a majority of the buildings were residential. It is sunny and hot today. Our Weather Authority team is tracking more storms moving in on Monday as our next weather maker arrives. The Ravens welcoming the Philadelphia Eagles in town. Still ahead, the players who made their mark in the preseason opener. That's coming up on Sports Unlimited. It's 7:29. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
We're taking a live look over Camden Yards, it looks. Woo! And we appreciate you being here. It's a nice, warm, sunny day this morning on this Sunday, August 13th. I'm Shannon Lilly. Let's get right to your forecast with meteorologist Justin Chambers. So is it going to feel as nice as it looks to us outside?
I think so, yeah, Shannon. I mean, the Ravens got the win last night. They have that crazy streak of winning preseason games that dates back to 2015. So it was nice to see football back here in Charm City, even if it was fake football. And of course, the O's on the road getting the 1-0 victory against the Mariners in Seattle. So rubber match today at 4:05 our time, and hopefully they can win that series. They're not going to be back until the 22nd of August, so another week or so away. But even though we are seeing the O's that are out of town, a good day to be outside, a mild morning, hot and sunny for you for the afternoon. And we are tracking storms on Monday. May need that weather alert day on Monday, especially for tomorrow night into early Tuesday morning. That's when some of those storms are going to get going. But if you want to get some yard work done and some gardening this morning, no issues. Mid to upper 70s. We're climbing those. See those numbers in the low to mid 90s as we head toward the afternoon. That's going to be in the above average category. So those snowballs and those ice cream cones going to be melting quickly. 95 for our high today. Notice how much our temperatures come down tomorrow, close to 90 with more showers and a couple of thunderstorms Monday afternoon into Tuesday. We'll take a closer look at that potential weather alert day and also that next weather maker as we head into the middle of the week. Shannon?
Call just came in as a weapons call on 23 West Alsbury, 3 Wellsbury near Carlton Avenue, Ammonium. David Skyzone complaining about there's a shooting in the building lobby.
We have continuing coverage this morning of a shooting at a Sky Zone in Baltimore County just after 7 o'clock last night. What you just heard there, police dispatch audio from the moment that shooting broke out. That shooting happening right here in Timonium, just outside Baltimore City. And we're learning that police have detained a possible suspect. A man was taken to the hospital in serious condition with multiple gunshot wounds to the torso. Police say they believe the suspect and the victim knew each other, calling the incident isolated. Take a listen.
We believe that this incident is an isolated situation and there is no one else that we're looking for. There's no danger to the community. At this time, we believe that they are known to each other, and that's why we're saying that this is an isolated incident.
Well, police have not revealed any information about the suspect, except that he was detained somewhere off-site. Our newsroom receiving a statement from County Executive Johnny Olszewski. He says, quote, "This incident of gun violence is shocking, horrifying, and simply has no place in our community. We are thankful that no children were injured in this shameful act of cowardice. I thank the Baltimore County Police Department for their swift response and for quickly detaining a suspect in this case." Stay with Fox 45 News for continuing coverage on this shooting in Timonium. You can go to foxbaltimore.com and click on Mobile Alert Sign Up to never miss an update.
That's highly disappointing. It's definitely highly disappointing. How was that missed? There's no way that should have happened.
The Brooklyn Holmes community got a chance to address their concerns over the aftermath of the deadly Brooklyn Day mass shooting at a town hall hosted by Mosby. But more than a month later, no arrests have been made in relation to the shooting. Vincent Hill has more as questions still loom about how it could have happened in the first place and who knew what and when.
41 days after the Brooklyn Day mass shooting that left 2 dead and 28 injured, a different party. But before the festivities, a youth town hall addressing concerns about trauma put on by Mosby, part of the mayor's 45-day stabilization plan for the Brooklyn Homes community.
It could be any of us, any of our children, and I would hate to see it happen again.
Our cameras not allowed inside, but that doesn't mean the community's voices weren't heard.
I would like a safer environment for the kids to play, definitely.
Sherelle Moore lives a block away from where those bullets rang out. Like many others, she wants answers to those unanswered questions.
How did they not know? It's police out here 24/7. Even beforehand, you'll see a police car. How this particular day, no police, nobody seen that group of people?
And I have an armed person call at 819 Gretna Court. Hundreds of males and females are armed with guns and knives at the location.
What exactly police were aware of?
Why was nobody aware that this incident was going to happen?
And Safe Street's involvement in the hours leading to the shooting.
That there were 4 violence interrupters who were at or around the location.
Still unclear, a topic of contention for Councilwoman Felicia Porter.
Yeah, my feeling is absolute of urgency.
Porter is looking for accountability.
Acting Police Commissioner Worley, he knows my intention to have this not only be a thorough investigation, but also an accountable investigation.
And change at the city level to make sure history doesn't repeat itself.
Those agencies, like you mentioned, that, how can we reform our standard operating procedures in order to make sure that this never happens again?
Fox 45 News has been pressing police for more updates on this investigation. At a National Night Out event, our Jeff Abel tried asking Acting Commissioner Richard Worley.
Thing about Brooklyn.
No, you can't. No, you cannot. You cannot.
You don't want to answer?
Well, that brings us to our question of the day. Do you think the city could have done more to prevent the Brooklyn Day mass shooting? So far, 79% of those who voted say no. To make your voice heard, head to foxbaltimore.com/vote. Fox 45 News is your back-to-school headquarters. After the break, how you can help your kids get ready for the first day of school.
Yeah, well, we still got some summertime left, and that heat is going to be here today for sure as we look out over a sunny Sunday. Back with your full forecast coming up on Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition.
Well, a new school year can bring both joy and excitement, but it can also bring dread and discomfort for some kids. One psychiatrist says most of the first day jitters are just that, first day jitters, but there are some cases that are more severe.
Certainly appear as just overt depression. Somebody who just seems really down is now socially isolating, not hanging out with their friends, not talking to their peer group, because that anxiety has gotten to a place where it's a bit overwhelming for them.
So one thing you can do to help soothe your child's fears, help them think positive.
I think it's very helpful to talk about what to expect. So what will the day look like? How are they going to get to school? Talk about how they're going to get their lunch that first day. Just really go through the steps can be very helpful.
So I have to calm him down and remind him, we do this let's name all the good things that have happened last year. Let's go through,
Well, parents should also look for symptoms like their children seeming withdrawn or increasingly irritable. But the most important thing is to communicate with them about how they feel before they even step foot on campus. Fox 45 News is your back-to-school headquarters, and we are compiling all of the things busy parents need to know to prepare for a great school year. Just click on that QR code there on your screen to check out all of the stories that we've posted so far. A free camp providing judgment-free zones for children with limited differences. Coming up next, we're taking you to Camp Open Arms. The Ravens making their return to M&T Bank Stadium. Still ahead on Sports Unlimited, a recap of their preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's 7:41 and you're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. $7:43 now. A free camp for children with limb differences returns to Maryland for its 9th year. Photojournalist Brandon Dobbs gives us a closer look at Camp Open Arms.
Hi, I'm Anna. Welcome to Camp Open Arms.
On your mark, get set, go.
Oh, it's a good one. The first day may be a little stressing because they're all new people, but then the second day you start making friends, you start talking to people, and I feel like this is just a very, very interactive camp. Very useful, very warm.
It makes me feel included since at other camps, some people don't want to be partners with me.
I didn't get glasses.
Whoa, we have glasses on. I think you can talk to beautiful Boston fans. You can explore what they're going to do after school. Yeah. And then you can pretty much play with them right over there.
I think in this year's camp is probably the sand because it's kind of like slippery. It's like artificial snow.
I want all the blasters in a pile in the middle. Camp Open Arms, the name itself generated from the idea that these children may be missing a limb, but we're still very welcoming. And the rest of the population, all of us as human beings, should be welcoming of all individuals, whether or not they have a limb difference.
Oh, you girl. Everyone has been really nice to me, and it's making me really happy.
It's actually just a branch.
I routinely noticed that there were times that I was unable to do an operation to try and improve their appearance or the function of the limb difference, and recognize that several of these children, unfortunately, were getting made fun of, getting bullied, and I wanted to give back to this community and provide an opportunity for them.
Come on. There you go. I told you could do it.
I think it's a privilege. Not everybody gets to be in this type of camp, and it is where you can meet other people who are the same as you, and you don't have to be scared anymore. Bye!
So precious. Well, Camp Open Arms is supported by donations and grants from both the University of Maryland Children's Hospital and University of Maryland Department of Orthopedics. For more information, you can head to our website. That is foxbaltimore.com. We are exactly 2 weeks away from our very own Justin Chambers throwing out the first pitch at Camden Yards. Friday, our morning team and comedian Bill Bellamy tried to help him get ready for the big day.
First and foremost, you dedicated.
Yeah, I'm dedicated. I'm ready.
That's too close.
Wait, where'd you throw out the first pitch?
I threw out the first pitch at Houston Astros game.
Ooh, okay,
and
nice.
That was like when they won the World Series. I was in Houston.
Were they cheating at that time too?
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, right here it's too close. Let me show you how far it really is.
Try no, you try it. Come on, Bill Bellamy. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. All right.
But I'm trying to tell him.
Justin,
Ready?
you got this.
All right, let's get it.
Oh, pretty good.
That's still a strike.
But we're supposed to be heckling too, though.
So much fun. And Justin did so good. Remember, Justin's first pitch will be before the O's game on August 27th when they take on the Colorado Rockies. We'll continue to show you how he's getting ready leading up to his pitch. All right, so Justin, I mean, have you been practicing, though? Because we all know it's going to be different once you actually get up there. There's going to be some nerves.
That's the whole thing. And look, Coach was out there yesterday, on Friday, Coach Amatucci, and he actually texted me. He was like, all right, we got to work on some other stuff now and the follow-through. We got to work on the follow-through.
He's a great coach.
He's great.
You're in good hands.
I am. I believe I am. But, yeah, I have my glove at home, or Tom's glove. And so now I got to get a glove for my wife so I can throw, like, on the weekends and everything. But, Shannon, it's longer than I thought it was going to be. Just like Bellamy was saying, like, it's not here. And then I went all the way back, and I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure. I gotta at least get it over the mound. I don't care about throwing a strike. I just want to get it over the mound and not 50-cent it.
Right.
It's a whole thing.
Don't just throw it at the ground.
No. All right. Our Towson Cam. I also don't want to throw it in some guys, jewels like that. That's happened before too. All right. Our Towson Cam. Good morning to you. Looking at beautiful conditions. That sun that is out there right now. We're officially at 75. Probably gonna add about 20 degrees to our highs for the day today. Notice the dew point temperature at 68 degrees. So dew points are going to be a little less humid than yesterday. You probably won't notice it too much, but that drier air is going to come in later this afternoon, even though our temperatures are going to be climbing before we get there. Now, here's what's going on our HD radar. Not a whole heck of a lot. Some showers and storms well to the north of us up toward parts of Massachusetts and Cape Cod. You pull out a little bit farther and you actually can see another line of showers and storms developing in the Midwest and the Central Plains. So we're pretty quiet for today, but what happens tomorrow? You can see the Storm Prediction Center has a large area of the East Coast under a slight risk, which is 2 on a scale of 1 to 5, and the rest of us under at least a marginal risk. And that includes us here at home. So Baltimore City and County up into the north toward Cockeysville, out to the west, Carroll, Howard, and Arundel counties all under that slight risk for severe weather for tomorrow. And these storms are going to be moving in late tomorrow night into early Tuesday. So more than likely going to be shifting into weather alert mode for those storms as we track them for tomorrow. But everything looking great today. As you rise and shine, enjoy some breakfast and coffee or maybe Prosecco. Today is National Prosecco Day, so get a little Prosecco with your orange juice and, mimosa it up. All right, temperatures in the low to mid 90s across Carroll and Baltimore counties for your highs today. Above average for sure. 87 typically where we are in mid-August. Low to mid 90s here. Ellicott City and Elkridge over to Glen Burnie and Pasadena, Severna Park at 96 for your high today. And up and down the 95 corridor, upper 80s and mid 90s. Baltimore and D.C., even down the ocean, 87 in Ocean City today. So this weak cold front's going to come through this afternoon. That's what I was talking about, that northwesterly flow bringing in some of the slightly drier air. Tomorrow is when we'll start with some cloud cover, a few showers into the middle part of the afternoon, but it's really, watch this, tomorrow night right there. You can see that little blob rolling through. That's where we could see some heavy rain, some damaging wind gusts. And this is going to be happening in the nighttime when a lot of us are sleeping, so that'll be a night where you want to make sure that that phone is on loud so you can get those push alerts. So 7-day forecast, 95 today. We're cooler tomorrow with some of those storms rolling in, and then back to about 90 on Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday look great as we head toward the middle of the week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Justin. Well, it is a brand new era for Towson football. Rocco DeSangro has more on their new coach and how he's adapting to the new job. It's 7:50. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Ravens, Ravens. Now we're doing that now, huh? I like it. We'll take it. We'll use it. The Eagles can have their EAGLES. We'll take our AVENS, right?
Whole lot of that going on last night at M&T Bank Stadium as Ravens football made its return. With established starters sitting out the preseason opener against the Eagles, the rest of the roster looked to make their mark on the coaching staff, the front office, and extend that preseason win streak to 24. With no Lamar Jackson, Josh Johnson getting the start at quarterback. Zay Flowers, his first touch as a Raven, makes one defender miss, showing off that elusiveness, but brought down quickly after. Ravens down 3-0 to start the second. Johnson, great back shoulder throw to Devin Duvernay, who hauls it in for the first touchdown. The Eagles would make it a 7-6 game on a field goal. Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Trey Sermon punches it in. That gives the Eagles back the lead. Ravens cut it to 3 at the break thanks to the most accurate kicker of all time. That's Justin Tucker, 60 yards out. This is preseason, man. Doesn't matter. It's money. Ravens trailed 13-10 at the half. Johnson got the first 2 quarters. Huntley started the third, starting out hot, hitting Tylan Wallace on the back shoulder. Great pass, great catch. Ravens lead 17-13, still in the third. Really cool moment for that guy. That's City High School's own Malik Ham with a sack, loss of 6 on the play. Big moment for him. Fourth quarter, Anthony Brown in the game telegraphs the pass, picked off by Eli Ricks, who houses it. Eagles can tie with the extra point. They're like, nah, we're going for the win. Turns out to be the wrong decision because it's picked off by Ardarius Washington. The Ravens streak now at 24 games as they hold on for the 20-19 win.
These are opportunities to learn, and you have an opportunity. Every single person, we learn a lot as a team. We will when we watch the tape, and every single person can learn something, whether they played or not, about themselves through the course of this game. So now what do we do with it? That's what determines where we go from here. So hopefully we'll make the most of it. I believe in our guys, and I believe that they will make the most of it. So, but it's a great game, fun game. I thought our defense really stepped up in the second half big time. 2 sudden change stops, 2 turnovers. See those guys make the plays, stiffened up against the run quite a bit, which was great. So, and that's ended up being the difference in the game. Then the offense closing it out at the end.
I was excited. I was super excited to the point where I didn't really know what to do. So it was fun. It was a fun experience for the first time.
The Ravens extend their win streak to 24 games with the 2019 win over the Eagles. Tyler Huntley, 8 of 11, 88 yards and a touchdown. Josh Johnson, 8 for 12, 45 yards and a touchdown. Anthony Brown, 3 of 8, 7 yards and a pick. Devin Duvernay and Tylan Wallace both had a receiving touchdown. The Ravens now shift their focus to Washington for Game 2. A brand new era of Towson football is underway as head coach Pete Shinnick looks to take this program to new heights. But to get there, the Tigers have to put in the work. And they've been doing just that over the course of fall camp, adapting really well to change.
Really impressed with how our guys have kind of handled all the change that we've thrown at them. So brand new offense, brand new defense, brand new special teams, as well as really a brand new way of doing things and trying to create, a different atmosphere as to how we approach the day, how we approach everything that we're doing, and then what we're asking them to do on a day-to-day basis. So got really good senior leaders, got guys that want to make this a great season for them. They've been fantastic and helped change a lot of that. They've been instrumental in kind of pushing us along, and as we just finished, practice 6, feel very good about where we're at and what we've been able to accomplish.
Morgan Atzit's chat with Shinnick, it's going to air tonight on Sports Unlimited. You're going to want to tune in for that. Shinnick and the Tigers begin their season September 2nd in College Park against these guys. Maryland and the Terps have been hard at work as well. Coming off back-to-back bowl wins, Maryland wants so much more in 2023.
For the last 3-4 years, I've had a ton of players come to me and say, Coach, we want to talk about championships. And I said, man, until we can worry about taking care of the things we can control, we can't talk about championships. Well, the player-driven culture that we've been trying to instill, I think now has shown itself to me.
The biggest thing for us is just taking this one day at a time. Keep the main thing, which is winning championships, winning games week in and week out. And for us to do that, we need to be disciplined. We need to continue to stick together. And I think that's the main goal for this fall camp, just continuing to build the bond, continuing to get closer, knowing we got a lot of new players, stuff like that. So, and just continue to work and think of Towson when it's time to think of them. So.
Well, that's your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. Have a great Sunday.
New this morning, police have arrested a man in connection with last night's shooting at a Sky Zone in Baltimore County. Why they're saying the incident was isolated and not a threat to the community. And police are still searching for a suspect in the murder of mother Rachel Morin in Harford County. We'll have details on next week's vigil.
Temperatures already warming up, and we're going to heat up for the afternoon. Got your full forecast and even a look at some more thunderstorms rolling in coming up.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Starting with a live look outside on this sunny Sunday. Thank you so much for being here on this Sunday, August 13th. I'm Shannon Lilly. We want to get straight to your forecast with meteorologist Justin Chambers. So, Justin, a nice day today, but possible storms rolling in tomorrow,
yeah,
right?
That's exactly right, Shannon. Good morning, and good morning to all of you as well. Had a lot of humidity out there yesterday. It's August, and that's typically what we see. Actually, later this afternoon, our drier air will come in, and it will be a little less humid. But look at these temperatures. We're already at 80 degrees in Baltimore, Annapolis, and Stevensville, 77 in Chestertown and Bel Air, 75 in Cockeysville, 77 your temp right now in Westminster. So temperatures already warming up. Our mild morning will turn into a hot and sunny afternoon. Nothing but blue skies today. Maybe a few clouds out there later into the day today, but we're out tracking those storms that are going to roll in for tomorrow. So as you rise and shine with us, next couple of hours, low to mid 80s, even upper 80s already by 11 a.m. And we'll top out in the low to mid 90s for a lot of us. Those temperatures well above average for this afternoon. Back with your full forecast coming up in a few.
Call just came in as a weapons call on 23 West Owlsbury, 3 Wellsbury near Carlton Avenue, Timonium. There's a Sky Zone complaining about there's a shooting in the building lobby.
We have continuing coverage this morning of a shooting at a Sky Zone in Baltimore County just after 7 o'clock last night. What you just heard there, police dispatch audio from the moment that shooting broke out. That shooting happening right here in Timonium, just outside of Baltimore City, and we're learning that police have detained a possible suspect. A man was taken to the hospital in serious condition with multiple gunshot wounds to the torso. Police say they believe the suspect and the victim knew each other, calling the incident isolated. Take a listen.
We believe this incident is an isolated situation, and there is no one else that we're looking for. There's no danger to the community. At this time, we believe that they are known to each other, and that's why we're saying that this is an isolated incident.
Police have not revealed any information about the suspect, except that he was detained somewhere off-site. County Executive Johnny Olszewski responded to the shooting, saying this incident of gun violence is shocking, horrifying, and has no place in our community, and that he is thankful that no children were injured. He says, quote, "I thank the Baltimore County Police Department for their swift response and for quickly detaining a suspect in this case." In another instance of recent crime in Baltimore County, a Towson man is facing charges after being accused of following several women, assaulting one of them inside a children's store in Timonium. That store just blocks from the site of last night's shooting at Sky Zone. Police say 40-year-old Charles Waddles followed multiple women between July 31st and August 6th. Fox 45 spoke with one victim who tells us Waddles followed her home and attempted to break in through her back door.
Had thought a couple times about asking him if he needed help or he was looking for something, because I just couldn't allow myself to believe that he was trying to do something like to harm me. You know, the whole time he's just watching me. I don't think I was as afraid as I should have been.
Well, police say they received multiple calls matching his description, with witnesses claiming they saw him following people at Towson High School and assaulting a female employee at that children's store. Waddles has been denied bond. His trial on assault and burglary charges is set for September 25th. We also have continuing coverage this morning of ongoing car thefts in Baltimore City, with another high-speed chase involving young people, this time in East Baltimore. Police say they arrested 4 children between the ages of 11 and 14, and that the Hyundai Elantra they were in was stolen from Baltimore County. But they say they couldn't charge the 11-year-old due to the state's Juvenile Justice Reform Act. A family member came and picked that child up. Fox 45 has heard complaints from local leaders about those laws.
To be honest, I think it's one of the worst pieces of legislation I've ever read, because what it has done is taken the process of holding juveniles accountable away from prosecutors.
Those protections have given way to a protection of some people who have committed very heinous crimes, which, yes, that does hamper what we are doing now.
It's becoming more and more difficult to hold juveniles accountable.
Basically, a lot of things that unfortunately young people find themselves getting involved in, police can no longer take action.
Baltimore residents expressed juvenile crime as a safety concern during last week's public comment sessions with the Maryland and acting BPD Commissioner Richard Worley. Those concerns highlighted by the continued investigation into the Brooklyn Day mass shooting, in which 15 juveniles were among the 30 victims, and many people at the block party that night were under 18. City State's Attorney Ivan Bates here says the Child Interrogation Act is hampering the investigation. The law states that children can't be questioned by law enforcement without speaking to an attorney first, while advocates argue it's a necessary safeguard for young people. Bates says police's hands are tied.
But this is what I don't get. Even if the parent says, yes, we can talk to their son or daughter, a lawyer, and here lately it's the public defender is saying you can't talk to my client. Of course, you know, they're not saying that we can talk to anyone.
They're jealously defending their client.
They're shutting it down. Matter of fact, I received an email from the public defender in Baltimore City, Ms. Capizzello, reminding me what the law was. That's almost waving it in my face. Hey, you can't do this. So that's the mentality that they've now given to the public defenders in that office here in Baltimore City.
On WBAL radio, Mayor Brandon Scott admitted it's difficult to investigate the shooting when so many of the people who were at the scene can't be questioned by police. He says there needs to be balance between young people's rights and accountability. The Harford County Sheriff's Office is still searching for Rachel Morin's killer after finding a body they believe to be hers on the Ma and Pa Trail. Topping our next half hour, the latest on the ongoing investigation.
Overall, plenty of sunshine out there today. Temperatures heating up, and we are tracking our next weather maker, which could put us into weather alert mode. We'll let you know coming up on Fox 45 Morning News, Weekend Edition.
8:10 now, and in a city in crisis, newly obtained court documents cast more doubt on the Safe Streets program. We're learning a Safe Streets employee pleaded guilty to dealing fentanyl and cocaine in the same Safe Streets zone that he was working in at the time. Joining us this morning, Giovanni Patterson with the People for Elected Accountability and Civic Engagement, also known as PEACE. Giovanni, good morning.
Good morning.
So let's talk about this. We know that this is not the first time there's been criminal activity from a Safe Streets employee while they're working for Safe Streets. What does this say about the program and what's happening under the veil of the program?
Well, I think everybody knows what's going on with the Safe Streets program. I mean, you talk to anyone in any barbershop, you know, in the city, out the city. Everyone knows what the Safe Street program is, except it seems for, you know, the mayor and maybe Mosby as well. But everybody knows that, you know, and a lot of sentiment is that it is a, you know, front organization to, you know, legally deal drugs and commit crimes. And it seems like that fact is known, again, by everyone except the people that are in charge and administering the program. And it's all being done at the expense of the taxpayers.
And we know that the mayor and his administration, they're keeping the names of these employees private. They say for their security. But how can there be transparency then? Do you think there needs to be more transparency? And then if so, I mean, how do we maintain that security with the transparency as well?
Well, one thing about transparency is when you start holding money and withholding money from groups, that, you know, opens things up. However, you know, the mayor hasn't been really forward in saying, hey, we can stop funding. I mean, I think Councilman Glover did call for a stop of funding for Safe Streets programs until we can really figure out and understand what's going on. And I think actions like that are necessary for transparency and in action. And I think the people of Baltimore really should demand action, especially when it's our money that is being used to fund a lot of these programs.
Right. Like you said, it's our money. So what do taxpayers deserve to know when it comes to this program?
Everything. I mean, everything. I mean, this is a program that's touted to reduce violence and crime and violence. However, there are programs in the community now that have, you know, are free. If you talk to Doc Cheatham and what he's done in the Sandtown and Easterwood neighborhoods, or if you talk to Strider, who's been here, and the way they've been able to reduce crimes, you know, in neighborhoods that participate in the you know, crime reduction process. A lot of those programs don't get the level of funding and the money that we see to go into programs like Safe Streets, but are highly effective, right? So I think when it comes to you know, the people knowing and understanding what's going on, like, you know, we should demand that our taxpayer dollars are withheld until we get the level of transparency that the people deserve.
Yeah, and we're talking about federal drug trafficking here that's happened more than once. I mean, the mayor says that there is accountability through law enforcement, but does this look like accountability to you?
No, what's more going on is the credibility, right? The mayor also speaks of the credibility of the Safe Streets workers. And this is, you know, going towards their levels of credibility versus the accountability to the public. When, you know, we talk about, again, the Brooklyn, you know, Holmes mass shooting, where, you know, the identities or those Safe Street workers that were there can't be revealed because it damages their credibility. Well, their credibility is in the activities that they're doing that reflect the the life that they say they're reformed from. But you know, instead, you know, we're seeing, you know, these Safe Streets workers on site with, you know, a lot of crime and a lot of things happening instead of, you know, reporting. And that's where, you know, really the accountability should come in is, you know, how many crimes have Safe Streets workers reported, right? Instead of just the violence interrupter in number of interruptions, how many crimes, you know, have you reported? And how many things have we really, you know, how many guns have we gotten off the street? Those type of things.
All right, Giovanni Patterson with PEACE. Thank you so much again for being here. Thanks for weighing in. Prosecutors are fighting back against Marilyn Mosby's motion for a venue change in her upcoming trial. Why Mosby claims she won't have a fair trial if it's in Baltimore City. Acting Police Commissioner Richard Worley's confirmation hearing, which was supposed to happen this week, has been postponed. A possible reason for the delay just ahead. It is 8:14 and you're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. 8:17 now. Marilyn Mosby is requesting her perjury and mortgage fraud trial, which is slated to open at Baltimore's federal courthouse in November, be moved to the federal courthouse in Greenbelt. In a 900-page motion filed in June, Mosby's defense team claimed the former state's attorney had endured a deluge of media criticism, insisting she cannot receive a fair trial in Baltimore under these conditions. But prosecutors have disputed those claims, with the U.S. attorney accusing Mosby of generating much of the publicity herself. Defense attorney Jeremy Eldridge, who's not involved in this case, says arguments over the change of venue seem similar to one Mosby herself made when she was prosecuting 6 police officers for the death of Freddie Gray.
When Marilyn Mosby was handling the Freddie Gray prosecutions, the defense attorneys were seeking to transfer venue to a neighboring county. And Marilyn Mosby said that the prosecution of those cases deserves to be in this very city. And so it begs the same question. Does Marilyn Mosby's prosecution beg to be in this city?
A judge will have the final say at a hearing next month. All right, it's 8:18 now, and we need to get a check of the forecast with meteorologist Justin Chambers. It's a good day for you to practice your throwing, isn't it? Your pitching,
throwing,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it will be, Shannon. Yeah, it's already warm. We actually will see a little bit of that drier air later into the afternoon today. You probably won't notice it too much, but overall, if you are going to be outside, should be a very nice day. Lots of sunshine. It's summer in the city. It is August, and looking out over the Inner Harbor, great day to be on the water. Boaters and watermen, northwest wind only about 5 to 10 knots, waves about a foot or less, with that low tide out at 12:45, back in at 5:28 this afternoon for Fort McHenry. But temperatures in the low to mid 90s through midday and into the afternoon as well. Overall on our HD radar, very quiet conditions right now. When you pull out a little bit farther, you can see this cold front, which is just kind of hanging through and starting to make its way through the area. What that's going to do, doesn't really drop our temperatures, but it brings in what we call a northwesterly flow, and that's going to usher in some slightly drier air. But what happens tomorrow is what we're focused on right now. This is from the Storm Prediction Center on Monday, and notice all of the areas in yellow, western Maryland, including most of us here under that yellow, which is a slight risk for severe weather. That's 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. So we do have that potential for some storms, especially late tomorrow into early Tuesday morning. A marginal risk for folks to the east. That includes Harford and Cecil County and most of our eastern shore counties. So we'll keep our eye on that, a potential weather alert day. If you want to hit the pool today, cannonball, going to be jumping in right on our splash cast. 84 by 10 a.m., mid 90s in that 2 and 3 o'clock hour. Get that sunblock on. That UV index, very high category. I know it's the last couple of weeks for summertime for a lot of the kids, so make sure everybody's all good to go and lathered up. Low to mid 90s, Westminster and Bel Air over to Cockeysville. 95 in Baltimore City this afternoon. 92 in Annapolis. 94 for you in Columbia. And if you are heading down the ocean, great beach day today. Upper 80s on Sunday. Notice our temperatures come down Monday and Tuesday. That's because our next weather maker rolls in. And real quick here, your countdown of your bus stop forecast. 15 days for Baltimore City and County, Harford, Howard, and Arundel counties, 23 days for you in Carroll County. And on the eastern shore, we're also 15 days out. Queen Anne's and Talbot County, about 2 weeks left in summer. Caroline, Cecil, Kent County, you're back just after Labor Day in 23 days from right now. And here's that 7-day forecast for you. 95 today, upper 80s tomorrow. Again, potential weather alert day, especially Monday night into Tuesday morning. That's when we'll have the best chance of some of those strong storms rolling in. But after that, Tuesday afternoon looks good, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looking great as we head into the middle of the week.
Thanks, Justin. Officials in Harford County are asking the public for any information about Rachel Morin's murder, what they're saying now about a possible group of witnesses. A new report sheds more light on why one of the biggest scandals to hit the Baltimore City school system ended in no criminal charges. Up next, Project Baltimore breaks it all down for us. It's 8:21 and you're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. A bombshell report offering clarity into why one of the biggest scandals to ever hit Baltimore City schools resulted in no criminal charges. 4 employees at Augusta Fells Savage, a high school in West Baltimore, were implicated in a scheme in 2021 to change grades and inflate enrollment, but none were prosecuted. As Project Baltimore's Chris Pabst explains, the Inspector General for Education blames city schools.
For more than 2 years, many have raised concerns.
I would say that it is entirely possible that city school officials could face criminal charges.
Questions have been asked.
I think what needs to be asked now is who's going to be held accountable for this scheme? Who's going to, be brought up on charges?
Why has no one involved in the massive scandal at Augusta Fells Savage, a high school in West Baltimore, been prosecuted? This report, released Thursday by the Inspector General for Education, blames Baltimore City Schools. The IG found City Schools' Staff Investigations Unit does not have a written policy regarding self-incrimination, which can put employees at risk during internal investigations. It's known as a Garrity warning. It's similar to Miranda rights. Without City Schools issuing a Garrity warning to employees during its internal investigation of Augusta Fells, local, state, and federal prosecutors declined to pursue criminal charges, according to the IG.
So you think he left the school system in 2017?
Something like that, yes.
Project Baltimore, in March of 2021, first broke the news, exposing a scheme to change grades and inflate enrollment at Augusta Fells Savage, a high school in West Baltimore.
Well, I know for 2019, I don't think she was really going, really none at all, to be honest.
We obtained this list of 21 students enrolled at Augusta Fells, but not actually attending. Ghost students, as they're known by educators, are used to pad the rolls and increase the amount of funding a school receives. Project Baltimore tracked down many of the families on this list who confirmed their children were not in school, including this student who could not have been attending because he was in jail.
I signed up for no classes. I was dropped out, left the school, didn't enroll back in the school or nothing.
18 months after Project Baltimore first exposed the issues at Augusta Fells, taxpayers got some money back. According to the Maryland State Department of Education, city schools refunded the state more than $350,000 for 73 students over a 5-year period, just at Augusta Fells, who were enrolled and funded when they should not have been. But that is not all our investigation into the school found. It was also in March of 2021 that we first interviewed Tiffany France. She had just learned her son had passed only 3 classes in 4 years at Augusta Fells Savage.
He's stressed, and I am too. Like, I told him I probably would start crying. Like, my son is, I don't know what to do for him.
France's son had a 0.13 grade point average, but was still in 9th grade, yet had a class rank of 62 out of 120. And he was still being promoted through the course levels, which led France to believe everything was fine when it wasn't. When City Schools completed its investigation into Augusta Fells in the fall of 2021, the district found that administrators at the school improperly changed grades and pressured teachers to give students grades they did not earn. They also found students were scheduled in classes that did not exist or they did not attend when they should have been withdrawn due to lack of attendance. The report says 4 people were implicated for their roles in the scheme. They no longer work for the district. The principal, Tracy Hicks, and the assistant principal, Joy Wasiga, were put on paid administrative leave in September 2019. Before they left the district, the 2 earned combined around $370,000 in salary while on administrative leave. The IG issued one major recommendation in this report, that city schools establish a standard written policy governing the use of the Garrity warning during the investigative process. According to the report, the IG first issued that recommendation to city schools in July of 2021. But so far, the district has failed to act. In a statement to Project Baltimore, city schools said its investigative policies are in line with other Maryland school systems, adding, "Our protocols are designed to safeguard employee rights, and we have also collaborated effectively with prosecutorial agencies in many contexts." I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
The sun is shining over the harbor. Thank you so much for being here on this Sunday. It is a beautiful day out there, and it's August 13th. I'm Shannon Lilly. Let's get you right to your forecast with meteorologist Justin Chambers. That view tells us a lot, Justin. It's nice out there.
A lot of sunshine today, Shannon. Less in the way of cloud cover. I know we had some of those clouds that were threatening yesterday, and we're trying to see a couple of those thunderstorms pop over the mountains. But right now in the Towson area, you can see that sun that is shining brightly and looking good so far. Temperature-wise, mid-60s in Oakland, but 70 in Cumberland, mid to upper 70s, even some lower 80s already in Baltimore City down through Annapolis, and for you out toward the eastern shore in Cambridge, Denton, and even Chestertown already at 80 degrees. So our temperatures are only going up from here. And as you head out the door this morning, make sure you grab the sunglasses. No need for the jacket or the umbrella. Now, we're going to change things up with our next weather maker rolling in, bringing some showers and possibly some strong storms late Monday into Tuesday. But out for your run or your jog on your Sunday morning, low to mid 80s next couple of hours, and we'll top out well above average. 95 for our high today. We're a bit cooler tomorrow, especially with the cloud cover and those showers and storms, with the highs in the upper 80s, and then Tuesday right back to about 90. Back with your full forecast. We'll talk about that next weather maker coming up in a few.
Justin, thanks. The Baltimore Police Department remains without a permanent leader this morning after Acting Police Commissioner Richard Worley's confirmation hearing was postponed. That hearing was supposed to happen this week. Now we're still waiting on a new date. Since Worley's nomination, though, he's faced several controversies, including questions about where he lives and concerns over the investigation into the city's worst mass shooting. Joining me now, former FBI agent Tyrone Powers. Tyrone, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. So city leaders, we know, they say that they want to ensure that the voice of Baltimore's residents are heard before Worley is confirmed. We know that they've scheduled multiple community engagement meetings to get the public's input. What do you think the community is looking for here and needs in a police commissioner?
Yeah, Baltimore's had a history, unfortunately, not a great history with its police commissions. Not that we haven't had some competent police commissioners, but what the community is looking for is someone that is scientifically sound about how to dramatically reduce crime, how to do policing, and competent. They don't want a commissioner who's a pawn of the mayor, who's we've participated in this city for decades now in what we call political policing, where police commissioners felt it was their job to make the mayor look good rather than to focus on what their expertise is. And that is dramatically reduce crime. They don't want a pawn of the mayor. They don't want a pawn of the city council. They don't want a pawn of the FOP. They want someone who's coming in who know that the people want to live in a peaceful community, that are peace, that are want to protect and serve the people, and that is competent at doing that. So they're not looking for a friend. The commissioner doesn't have to go out and try to be a friend to the people. What they want to say is that they don't want an enemy, but they want him to be competent. In this particular case, he being acting Commissioner Worley, they want him to be competent. They want him to be scientifically sound, strategic, and transparent. If you all come to him with a question about policing and crime in the city, they want him to answer that. They don't want him to walk away from that or shy away from that. Because if you're an expert in your field, you look for opportunities to explain what you are doing, how you are doing it, and the help you need in getting it done. Even with the condition of having a depleted police force, people say, yeah, but you are asking for the position. It's not that we're drafting you into the position, so you know what you have going in. Tell us what all you can do to be effective in dramatically reducing crime in Baltimore City.
Yeah, and this is an important time, we know, for policing in Baltimore. What is this vetting process going to look like for the commissioner, and what should it look like?
Well, if the city council, if we're not doing we're not trying to bring attention to ourselves, city council would have already done some vetting on their own. In other words, we had the horrific situation with the gun trace task force. We have a commissioner who came up in the department who've been there for 20-some years. You just need to make sure that he is untangled from that particular situation, because he doesn't get in the office like former Commissioner D'Souza, and then a month later you find out something from the U.S. Attorney, then he has to be removed from office. So hopefully they've done that kind of vetting where they don't have to do just grandstanding, but they've already done that kind of vetting to look for and to prepare for this particular process, so that when we get to the hearings and we begin to ask questions, we're asking concrete, strategic questions about addressing, reducing crime, investigations like we're dealing with in Brooklyn now and things of that sort, and we can see what his competency is, his leadership skills are in leading the police department to dramatically reduce crime, and not that factor where everyone try to look good by asking tough questions of the commissioner. The vetting process should be going on now. He should be vetted, because we've had so much trouble with police commissioners in Baltimore City, the same way we would vet individuals who would be going for a top secret security clearance. We should vet his entire career, make sure that he's properly prepared, make sure that he has the experience and the competence, and make sure that he has the leadership skills, and is not a pawn of the mayor, the city council, or the FOP or any other entity, but is for the people and trying to dramatically reduce crime. Right. The vetting process should reveal that.
Yeah, so why is it crucial that we get this right? And is Worley, in your opinion, the right person for the job?
I don't know his entire history. I have no reason to say that he's not the right person. I haven't vetted him. When I was with the FBI, I did background investigations, and I was able to come back and give to the director or to whoever a report saying this person is good for these reasons, and here is the possible blowback. So I don't really know whether I don't have that process of that vetting process. I wasn't part of that, or am not part of that. I just hope it's extremely competent in this vetting process and not politically driven. This is significant. I mean, the police commission, we keep talking about reducing murders below 300. That doesn't mean anything if you're number 277. The commission should be focused on getting rid of all murders and all violent crime. It may not happen, but we shouldn't be setting target numbers. If we get below 300, you're successful, because that means there's 200 and some or 299 dead people, families that have been devastated, and crime that is still occurring in the city. So we should ask those kind of questions, not just how do you get us under 300, but how do you help us dramatically and sustain it permanently, not just so that people can move on to other positions. So I think those kind of vetting questions need to be asked. This is a significant point. We can't keep moving from commissioner to commissioner every 5 years. I know the average throughout the United States, the commissioners stay for about 5 years and then move on. Baltimore can't afford that. Baltimore cannot afford that. This is key. This is important. This is significant. In fact, I would suggest to you that at this point, it's one of the most significant appointments that this mayor can make, and one of the most significant events, the hearings, to make sure we get the right commissioner, the vetting process that the city has had in a very long time.
Yeah, the city needs that stability, definitely. And briefly, if we can, I want to switch gears here and just talk about the crime in the county, just because we saw a man shot multiple times at the Sky Zone in Timonium. Just another example of violence breaking out where people typically feel safe. Do you have any thoughts on this? And do you think that leaders need to be doing something different or more to prevent these kinds of crimes, even over in the county?
Yeah, whenever you have a culture of crime in any jurisdiction, in a state or close to a state, then it's going to spread almost like a wildfire, unfortunately. So the leaders of the different police departments, the county executives and the mayor should be coming together with a regional plan to dramatically reduce crime, because if I just allow Baltimore City to focus on this crime problem, or Baltimore County or Harford County, and I am not communicating with my colleagues on a regional plan to dramatically reduce crime, then it will just be displaced rather than being solved. And that's what needs to be done immediately.
All right, Tyrone Powers, thank you so much. Such great input. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, 8:39 now, and continuing coverage, and happening next Saturday, Rachel Morin's family will be hosting a remembrance walk to walk her last steps before her death. The family says they're hoping to create a trail of flowers and light, so they are asking people to bring flowers and battery-operated candles to lay on either side of the trail. This begins at 11 a.m. near the Williams entrance. The Harford County Sheriff's Office is still searching for a killer. Officials are now calling on the public for information about who killed her. It comes as we learn police may have identified a group of witnesses, intensifying the investigation. Maryland State Police and FBI agents are also being brought on to analyze evidence.
I think they're working it as expeditiously as they can. There's a lot to pull together. In the field, we always say don't rush to judgment, no matter how much publicity they're getting, because then you may get the arrest, but you may lose the case.
Meanwhile, Rachel's family enlisting nationally renowned criminal defense attorney Joseph Murtha to represent them as they ask for privacy during this difficult time. The Harford County Sheriff's Office wants tips from anyone who was at or around the Ma and Pa Trail at the time Morin went missing. You can call 1-888-540-8477 or email rmtips@harfordsheriff.org. Negotiations continue between movie studios and writers in Hollywood. We'll have details on the latest counter proposal and what it could mean for your favorite shows. Topping your consumer news and taking a live look over the Hollywood sign this morning, where the Writers Guild of America received a counter proposal from the major Hollywood studios on Friday. It comes after both sides recently returned to the negotiating table, working to end a strike that hit 100 days on Thursday. Late night shows haven't aired new episodes since May, and now it will push back fall television premieres as well. Now here's a look at today's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
So what do you do when you need to hang a picture, but you don't want to dig through your junk drawer for the hammer? We've got something for you. This is called the Kelvin 23. It's a lightweight multi-tool set. 23 tools right here in this. There is a screwdriver, pops out just like that. And then there are 16 different screwdriver bits. And there's also a 6-foot measuring tape. You've got a hammer right here, flashlight, already on right there for you, and then the liquid level. So when the picture has been on the floor for months and you need to hang it, this is going to give you the freedom to do it yourself. It really is all of the essential tools in one compact case, and it's not going to take up a lot of space in your junk drawer. It's so easy. You just store it right there. Look, I am not a tool girl. Toolboxes intimidate me, but this Kelvin 23 is really all I need to take care of those small jobs and some of the big jobs around the house by myself. This is going to be a perfect gift for someone who's getting their first apartment or heading off to college. All of the essential tools. Right now, we're offering up to 33% off the Kelvin 23. Head over to asadeals.com.
In your consumer news, it's the announcement that sent shockwaves through the labor market. Zoom is calling some workers back to the office, setting off speculation that remote work is on the bubble. The National Desk's Angela Brown looking into whether remote work is declining.
Hiring Lab is tracking the share of job openings advertising remote or hybrid work. February 2022, 10.3%. May 2023, 8.4%. Now Zoom is asking its workers who live within 50 miles of an office to report to their desks twice a week.
Look, when you have Zoom, the company that arguably benefited more than any other company from the work from home trend itself, saying, you know what, there's probably a benefit to being in person at least a couple days a week. I think that says everything you need to know.
Other companies are doing the same. Meta telling some employees to return to the office 3 days a week starting in September. Google will consider office attendance and performance reviews. J.P. Morgan wants senior bankers to return to the office. Career specialist Julie Balke says despite this movement, hybrid is the future.
Most people, both individuals and companies, recognize that the place we're probably going to land is in a combination of work out of the office and work in the office.
The big picture here, at least according to Forbes, nearly 13% of people working full-time are working from home, and around a third, roughly around 28%, are working some sort of hybrid model. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
All right, 8:48 now. Let's get to meteorologist Justin Chambers. Justin, what do you think about remote work potentially coming to an end? We have to be here.
I mean, the entire pandemic, I was at work in Nashville, so I never did remote work. And there are a lot of meteorologists who did. They set up their own little weather walls in their living room and everything. And it's just, you know, you got to have it here and do the stuff as long as everybody's safe. So our Towson cam, good morning to you. A few clouds kind of hanging around right now, looking down York Road and checking your temperature. Already 80 degrees in the 8 o'clock hour. Our dew point, however, at 69 degrees. So the dew point numbers will actually come down just a little bit today. Temperatures rising, dew points come down, drier air later this afternoon. But you probably won't notice that when you step out now because we're still going to be in the sticky category here with those dew points today. Our HD radar, we're not tracking any rain. You can see a few of those thunderstorms here just to the south of Boston out toward Cape Cod right now. But that's about it in terms of where our next weather maker is setting up. Still basically gaining a little steam in parts of the central plains. But we have this weak cold front that's going to come through and making its way through as we speak. So throughout the afternoon, more of a drier northwesterly flow. It doesn't do much for our temperatures, but what it will do will dry out the air a bit. And then tomorrow, this is where our focus shifts, where the areas in yellow under a slight risk for severe weather. That includes pretty much all of us here in Baltimore City and County, at least for most of Baltimore County, all the way down through Anne Arundel, Howard, and Carroll counties, and some of our eastern shore counties, and the rest under a marginal risk. So tomorrow, late afternoon into the evening is going to be the time frame for the potential severe weather. We may need a weather alert day for that. Golfers hitting the links today on your forecast. Yeah, no issues, just a little on the warmer side. 82 by 9 a.m., 90 into that noon hour. And I've shot all of these scores, which is good. 82 is great, obviously, and 90 is about usually where I hang out. And then there are those 95 days, but that's not the scores. Those are the temperatures today. 87 is typically where we are across Carroll and Baltimore counties. We're going to be in the low to mid 90s. So yeah, we're heating up. It's August, and this is what we deal with. And mid 90s in D.C., upper 80s in Philly, 87 if you're heading down the ocean. Getting your mowing on. I beat my neighbor. I was excited about that yesterday, getting the grass cut. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, you got green lights here, 3 across the board. We share a yard. So the whole thing is when, you know, Creed does his yard and then mine looks like tall, but now it's like the other way. All right, so here's our future scan. There's that cold front I was talking about. Tomorrow, we're going to start to see the clouds in the morning time. May see a few showers about 3, 4 o'clock into the afternoon. And really, it's late tomorrow night. We're talking 9, 10, 11 o'clock. That's when we'll have that best chance for some of those stronger storms. It could bring heavy rain, also some damaging wind gusts. Into Tuesday, some leftover showers for the morning, but by Tuesday afternoon, all of this is pretty much out of here. Some showers left over on the eastern shore by Tuesday as well. 22 days from Labor Day. That is 3 weeks from tomorrow. The Ravens had their preseason opener last night. 4 weeks from today, they will be playing real football at M&T Bank Stadium. And that's the one I'm excited about. Pumpkin spice lattes, 41 days from right now, the autumnal equinox. I'm having my first one, meteorological fall. I don't care what people say. All right, so 95 today, upper 80s tomorrow, right about 90 on Tuesday. After Tuesday's afternoon, and we get some of those clouds out of here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday actually look really nice. Drier air in place and temperatures near average.
All right, speaking of countdowns, we are exactly 2 weeks away from our very own Justin Chambers throwing out the first pitch at Camden Yards. Friday, our morning team and comedian Bill Bellamy tried to help him get ready for the big day.
First and foremost, you dedicated.
Yeah, I'm dedicated. I'm ready.
That's too close.
Wait, where'd you throw out the first pitch?
I threw out the first pitch at Houston Astros game.
Ooh, okay,
and
nice.
That was like when they won the World Series. I was in Houston.
Were they cheating at that time, too?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, right here it's too close. Let me show you how close, how far it really is.
Try no, you try it. Come on, Bill Bellamy. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Yeah! All right.
But I'm trying to tell him.
Justin, you got this. All right, let's get it. Oh, pretty good.
That's still a strike.
But we're supposed to be heckling too, though.
I love Megan in the background. We're supposed to be heckling.
I know.
And
Make it realistic.
And look, we've got a lot of family and friends that live here, and a lot of them are coming to the game on that Sunday.
So
and
the pressure's on.
I'm sure there's going to be heckling from my, friends, and some of the family. But it'll be a lot of fun. I'm honored to do it, honestly. I mean, it's so cool.
Practicing, you're looking good out there,
I
Justin.
don't know. I'm trying. Thanks, Shannon.
You also, we talked about this. This isn't your first time, so.
I've thrown out pitches at minor league games, never the big leagues. So, like, I've never been in a big league stadium on the field, and they're going to let me on the field, I think. I don't think Adley gets to catch for me. I think maybe the Bird will or some other person, but
this is like a promotion. You're moving up.
I'm moving up to the big leagues, right? And the O's got the win last night, 1-0 out in Seattle. So they're still in first place by 2 games. We love our O's.
They're doing so well this year, too.
Absolutely.
It's really exciting. So, and the fact that they're playing against Colorado, I mean, that's so fitting. Both of us.
You and I worked in Colorado.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So good stuff.
Very exciting. Well, we're all rooting for you.
Thank you.
And remember, Justin's first pitch will be before the O's game on August 27th when they take on the Colorado Rockies. We'll continue showing you how he's getting ready leading up to his pitch.
Yeah, and you know what? It's an afternoon game. It's Sunday afternoon, a 1:35 first pitch, but my first pitch will probably be, I don't know, about 1:10, something like that.
Okay, so before. Okay, so we got to be there early.
It's an afternoon game.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. All right, well, we are heating up today with a little less humidity, but more storms are on the way soon. Meteorologist Justin Chambers is going to be back with your exclusive 10-day forecast right after the break.
Well, there it is, Camden Yards. Of course, the boys not back there until the 22nd. They've got a long West Coast road trip. Another game against the Mariners this afternoon. The rubber match today, because we will not lose the series again because they won last night. It was late. It was a pitcher's duel. It was 1-0. Batista came in, 2 scoreless innings. I loved it. All right, here's your 10-day forecast. 95 today, definitely hot. Now, tomorrow, it's late Monday into Tuesday that those storms are going to roll in, so we're probably going to have to shift into a weather alert mode for Monday, and again, for Monday night into Tuesday, the timing for those storms. But after Tuesday, we look great. Our temperatures actually are going to be kind of hovering near average. We've got some more drier air working in by the middle of the week, and then even into next weekend, more of those temperatures into the 90s. But overall, I mean, we've had some hot days. We still haven't hit hit 100 degrees yet this summer, and now we're past midway point.
It honestly hasn't been too bad. I went down to Myrtle Beach and I came back here. I was like, it feels like fall here.
It feels like fall.
It's great.
Today, National Prosecco Day. Get those mimosas on, and National Filet Mignon Day.
So some whining and dining.
I'm thinking I'm pretty sure we just decided what we're having for dinner.
Absolutely.
At our house.
Like a good call.